More Americans are concerned and worried about political violence after Election Day. First of all, everyone, stop living in fear. We're not divided. We're not a divided nation. We're a very scared and frightened nation. And when you're scared, you're not going to act emotionally sound. You're going to do something stupid. It's going to cost you. Everybody just calm down. Calm down, okay? Because at the end of the day, don't go to bat for these politicians. Don't put them on a pillar. They're not heroes. They're not these champions, these lions, these gods. They're horribly flawed individuals that don't respect you. Hell, they don't even respect themselves. Whether it's Trump or Biden who sits on the throne, it doesn't matter. But you got to remember that everything's for show. And I want to pull up this video here and shout out to Hotspot, because maybe this will get people to calm down. Joe Biden and Trump are at the bottom of the barrel, okay? They really contribute nothing. We deserve far more better representation. But this is what we have. But to the vote blue no matter who crowd, seriously, are you people willing to go to bat for this guy when he gets even the pre-selected questions and reporters wrong? This is going to be embarrassing and sad and difficult to watch. But does anybody in this man's family even truly love him? Yeah, probably not.
President Joe Biden disrupted a press conference with the Kenyan president, shouting and asking pre-selected reporters to repeat their questions.
Next question from April Ryan.
Mr. President, President Biden, President Ruto, thank you. First of all, when you talk about Haiti.
What was my question?
Sir, your question was Haiti.
Did you? I'm sorry, I didn't catch all your questions.
Oh, God. If you're taking care of elders, or if you've seen somebody or know a friend or family member that's dealing with Alzheimer's, or taking care of someone who's dealing with dementia or Alzheimer's, you could hear it in the tone. You could hear it in the tone. You could see it in his body language. He's got it. Or I'll be generous and say beginning stages of it, and that's not saying much.
Sorry, I'm saying Africa is asking America.
The event went wrong from the beginning when Biden said the first reporter had one question instead of the planned two to each president.
First question, Michael Wilner, McClatchy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Two questions, if I may, on...
No, one.
I'm going to do my level best on Haiti and on Israel. Does the United States...
One question. I'll answer your question.
Okay. Yeah.
The question with regard to Haiti is...
Or maybe he was just skipping inconvenient questions.
Okay, next. Do I ask the next question as well?
Oh, God. This is an embarrassment. And this man is supposed to debate Trump before the DNC convention. All right? DNC convention's coming here, August 19th through the 22nd, okay? Already, there's been reports that Biden's team and people who are part of the DNC establishment are considering maybe turning half the convention into online only. That's how unsure they are. When you even though nothing's been set in stone yet, the fact that it's been brought out and been posted on the media, on all social media for people to share and talk about, it should indicate a warning sign, a big red flag, especially if you're in the vote blue no matter who crowd. That is, Democrats are afraid of how this is all going to be playing out for Biden. He's lost whatever remained of his great coalition in 2020. It ain't coming back.
The end of the press conference was also bizarre.
Oh!
Hold on, we're watching it again. Biden, he probably had a brain jolt, or either that, maybe he borrowed a brainworm from RFK Jr. and said, hey, wait a minute, these wires aren't put together right. Let's... Say again, Biden, what's going on?
The end of the press conference was also bizarre.
Oh!
The end of the press conference was also bizarre.
Oh!
Whoa, that's right, I'm president. What the hell? My brain cells are all working again.
Why not just let him retire?
They can't do that. They're not going to do that. They're not going to let that go. And as I mentioned earlier, 2/3 of Americans worried about political violence after Election Day. Listen, no one is inspired by Joe Biden. No one's inspired by the Democrats. No one's excited to see Trump versus Biden again. Now, to be clear here, Trump, to his credit, did keep his political organization together, kept his political movement together, as anyone should do. It's the right thing to do. Yet 2/3 of Americans are worried about political violence. And, who's going to jump on that like a horny kangaroo? It's going to be the Democrats, people like AOC and Bernie saying, uh-oh, Trump supporters, they're gonna be causing some violence. And if you vote third party, you're no better than those Trump supporters. So 2/3 of American adults. All right, listen, people. Every day is violent. Surviving is violence, okay? How do you think you made it this far? How do you think your ancestors made it this far? Through violence, okay? They're concerned about extremists will commit acts of violence following the 2024 election if they are unhappy with the results, according to a poll released Thursday. I know what I'm doing on election night. I'm cooking myself a nice, thick ribeye steak. I'm going to buy one at Costco, and I'm going to have myself a nice sweet potato, a glass of wine, shot of whiskey, smoke a bowl, that kind of good stuff. There's my act of violence. And dare I say it, I don't care where you stand politically. I think everyone's going to agree. Damn, Kit, that's a really good way to end election night. In a Reuters poll conducted on May 7th to the 14th, 68% of U.S. adults said they either strongly agree, 33%, or somewhat agree, 35%, was the statement. I am concerned that extremists will commit acts of violence after the election if they are unhappy with the election outcome. Get over yourself. Just 15% said they either somewhat disagree, 10%, and strongly disagree, 5% was that statement, while 15% said they just don't know. This statement was especially prevalent amongst Democrats who have no spine, 83% of whom said they either strongly, 47%, or somewhat, 36%, agree with concerns about political violence. Only 8% said they disagree, and 9% said they don't know. The concerns seemed to transcend party lines, with 65% of Republicans agreeing strongly, 25%, or somewhat 40% with the concerns, with 69% of independents agreeing strongly, 34%, or somewhat 36% with the concerns. Among Republicans, 22% disagree with the concerns, while 60% of independents disagreed with the concerns. 12% of Republicans and 14% of independents said they don't know. The poll comes ahead of the November rematch between President Biden and former President Trump. Trump, who is still not publicly recognized Biden's victory, neither is Hillary Clinton to Trump's victory, went to great lengths after losing the election to overturn the results and stay in power. He faces 2 criminal indictments, one on a federal level and one in Georgia, accusing him of committing crimes related to those efforts. And again, I think these court cases are one big waste of time, and vote blue no matter who. If Trump is able to waltz out of this one and walk off into the sunset, you do realize that this is going to make him more powerful. It's going to make him a real force to be reckoned with. But it's okay, Democrats. You like to live in an alternate reality because you guys are just plain old stupid. Let's see, continuing on. And of course, yes, how can we ever forget January 6th? I'm not going to even acknowledge this paragraph because I think January 6th was one big waste of time. And it's the way people feel like, oh, that was the end of democracy. It was the end. I interviewed the shaman guy, okay? For Christ's sakes, I even covered the story about what was happening on January 6th. And guess what? At the end of the day, one big nothing burger. One big nothing burger in a long, sad history of days that will ever go on by. So what can we take away from this? First of all, number one, my fellow Americans, please, everyone, just calm down. Stop with being afraid. Stop with being scared. You don't need to hide. You don't need to be concerned. Just live your life as best as you can. And don't lift a finger to fight or defend these politicians' honor. They don't care about you. They don't care. They don't care. No, really, they don't care about you. This goes for any politician. They don't. If you really want to do something effectively important, something that could cause great change, start building movements and organizations in your community, not connected to DC. Start supporting and helping build up third parties and independents. Work with your neighbors. Talk to people. For a long time, we have been divided because corporate media has created that environment for us to be divided. But we are not divided. We're just scared. People are frightened. And it's okay to have fear. It makes you more well aware of your surrounding. My fear is that people will never remember the lessons that we're learning here now. My fear is that people are destined to be stuck in the same trap over and over again, hating their brother and sister, hating their neighbor, hating somebody who's just trying to get on by because a politician said so, because they're the bad guy or they don't think politically the same as you. Guess what? And this has been going on since the dawn of human civilization. People have been disagreeing with each other for millennia, okay? That's how it's always been. But what a boring world it would be if we all just nod our heads and agreed with each other. No creativity, no imagination. Now, we're not all going to agree. I'm not expecting us to be friends. No, I don't want that. A unique exchange of ideas. I'd rather be challenged by somebody who would have me think critically, not the whole I'm going to change your mind and convert you. No, let's have critical conversations and think critically. And I want to lead this, end this segment with this. To my audience, when you're done watching this show, check out other sources of information too. Compare and contrast. Hear different perspectives and points of view. Expand your mind and hear what another person is saying. You don't have to agree with them and you don't have to be their friend, but hear what they are saying. We have more in common than the media wants you to think. Because if the media and the establishment are so dead set on saying we're divided, do you have any idea how afraid they truly are, knowing full well that if we ever figure it out, that if we, the American people, say to them, hey, stop what you're doing, and we actually take charge of our government, dare I say it, through citizen ballot initiatives, through third parties and independents, do you have any idea how weak and frightened they will be? Because when we do stand as one, these politicians are not as strong as they say they are. They're only as strong and relevant because we made them that way. And because of that, they have used our kindness and generosity to have us attack each other. Let's be better after election night. No matter how it turns out, our fight for a better future is still ongoing.